In the 1930s, cartoons were allowed to be weird. Skeletons dancing in graveyards, haunted chickens, secret cults, and even a trip to hell all before Saturday morning cereal. These weren't made to sell toys or teach lessons. Some of them feel like they were pulled straight out of a nightmare. But here's the thing, they're also beautiful, eerie, hypnotic in the best way. Today, we're diving into 5 of the strangest cartoons ever animated, and once you've seen them, you'll never look at old school animation the same way again. Let's start with a cartoon that feels like it crawled straight out of a nightmare. Swing You Sinners. It was made back in 1930, but the animation is so wild and surreal, it still hits hard even today. The story's simple. A guy tries to steal a chicken, and things spiral fast. He ends up in a haunted graveyard, and that's when it gets weird. Floating ghosts, melting walls, tombstones with faces, and it's all set to this eerie jazz chorus basically chanting his doom. What's crazy is how fluid and unpredictable the animation is. It's like the artists threw out every rule and said, let's make this as creepy and chaotic as possible. And it works. It's spooky, it's stylish, and honestly one of the most unique things Fleischer Studios ever put out. If you've never seen it, this one's unforgettable. If you don't believe me, just watch.
Stand up, you sinner, we got you at last. You can't get away, there's no time to your finish going to be fast. Brothers and sisters, come on, get hot. We'll amputate your bodoyo and tie your bones in a knot. Did it down, did it da da down. Did it da 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 down. Bip it up, did it down down. Did it da 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 da. Your face lifted and a permanent shave. Ha, ha, ha. Where you want your body sent? Body? Huh? There ain't gonna be nobody. You can't make any excuse. Go room, what do you do? Till we pick up you. Swing you sinner for making chickens elope. You're at the end of your rope, so just give up all hope. Swing you sinner. We'll stretch you like a giraffe, maybe what you would have. Just give us a laugh. Swing you sinner.
Let's move on to the next one, and trust me, the weird vibes aren't slowing down. We're in a graveyard again, but this time there's no moral lesson, no chase, just bones, rhythm, and a whole lot of moonlight. This is The Skeleton Dance from 1929, eerie, playful, and surprisingly smooth for something almost a century old. It starts with fog, a midnight bell, and skeletons literally shaking themselves apart to the beat. They rattle, they groove, they even use each other as instruments. It's creepy and clever all at once. What makes it stick is how perfectly everything moves to the music. No dialogue, no real story, just vibes. The Skeleton Dance was the very first silly symphony, and it set the tone for what Disney would become later. Music-driven, highly stylized animation that was way ahead of its time. But this one, it leans more into gothic humor than anything Disney we know today. It was animated by Ub Iwerks, who was basically Disney's right-hand genius at the time. The dude could animate an entire short almost by himself, and his style is all over this one. Exaggerated movements, smooth loops, and that elastic, almost musical physics where bones seem to bounce and snap with perfect rhythm. Also, if you pause certain frames, the skeletons' faces are kinda terrifying. And despite being nearly a century old, this cartoon still gets remixed and parodied every Halloween. Let's keep going. Next up is Bimbo's Initiation from 1931, and this one definitely isn't your typical cheerful cartoon. The story throws Bimbo into this bizarre, almost surreal secret society initiation. He's wandering through dark, twisting hallways, facing strange traps, shadowy figures, and all kinds of weird, almost nightmarish challenges. It's like he's stuck in a twisted maze that keeps getting stranger and more threatening. There's no real explanation of what's going on, which only makes it creepier. It's all atmosphere and tension. The animation is wild, with shapes morphing and shifting, doors appearing out of nowhere, and Bimbo desperately trying to escape this mysterious place. Because of the dark themes and unsettling imagery, this cartoon was actually banned in several countries for being too disturbing for kids at the time. Watching it today, it feels like an early psychological thriller, almost like the 1930s version of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. It's creepy, surreal, and full of symbolism that makes you wonder what's really happening beneath the surface. If you're into cartoons that mess with your head and keep you on edge, Bimbo's Initiation is a fascinating piece of animation history you don't want to miss.
Wanna be a member?
Yes.
Moving right along. Next up is Minnie the Moocher from 1932. It opens with Betty Boop at home, sitting at the dinner table with what seems to be her strict parents. Her father's yelling at her, and after a heated moment, Betty runs away from home in tears. She heads off with Bimbo, and the two escape into the woods, but things only get weirder from there. They end up in a dark, echoing cave, and that's when the cartoon fully shifts into surreal nightmare territory. A ghostly walrus appears, singing Minnie the Moocher in Cab Calloway's unmistakable voice, and the cave fills with creepy, shape-shifting spirits. The animation is mesmerizing, smooth, expressive, and completely unhinged in the best way. And yes, that ghost walrus is still burned into a lot of people's memories. What makes this one so iconic is the way it blends real emotion. Betty running away from a harsh home with jazz, ghosts, and pure animated chaos. It's eerie, stylish, and way ahead of its time. You don't want to miss.
He gave his townhouse and his racing horses. Yeah. Each meal she ate was a dozen courses. She had $1 million worth of nickels and dimes. She sat around and counted them all 1,000,000 times. Oh, dee-ho, dee-ho. Oh, dee-ho, dee-ho. Dee-ha, dee-ha. Ah, dee-ha, dee-ha.
Let's move on. This one turns up the heat, literally. Red Hot Mama from 1934 starts off with Betty Boop falling asleep on a cold winter night, but in her dream, she wakes up somewhere very different, in the middle of hell. Flames are everywhere, and Betty strolls through it like she owns the place. Demons pop up, the heat melts everything around her, and eventually she meets the devil himself, who immediately tries to flirt with her. What follows is a full-on musical number, with Betty singing and dancing in the flames while Satan watches, completely smitten. It's playful, over the top, and surprisingly bold for its time. The cartoon was actually censored in some places because of its depiction of hell and the devil, which only makes it more iconic. It's seductive, surreal, and a little bit chaotic, just like Betty herself. You don't want to miss. And that's it for the weirdest cartoons of the 1930s. They were creepy, surreal, and honestly way more experimental than most people realize. Which one was your favorite, or the weirdest in your eyes? Let me know in the comments.